안녕하세요. 림페이 씨, 싱가포르 남자입니다. 네, 안녕하세요 여러분들. 오늘 주제는요, 한국 사람들이 보통 싱가포르를 어떻게 생각하는지 한번 알아보겠습니다. 네, so today I just want to talk about what Koreans think about Singapore and Singaporeans in general. And here I am in Hongdae. It is a beautiful, beautiful spring day, 14 degrees during the daytime. As you can see, I'm no longer wearing any thick clothing, just a nice little turtleneck and a suit and jeans. So this is a very, very beautiful day. It's not too hot, not too cold. 진짜 춥지도 않고 덥지도 않는데 너무 좋아. This kind of a spring day is really short. It's like in March here. This is like this is 3rd of March or something. Yeah. So if you come during this March period, this spring period, you can enjoy this kind of very, very 시원한 weather, very comfortable weather, 14 degrees Celsius during the day. Okay, so a lot of Singaporeans might be wondering, like exactly what do Koreans think about our country, our culture, our people? What do Koreans think about us in general, right? So after 3 years here in Korea and also having Korean girlfriend, I kind of get a feel, right, about generally how Koreans think about Singaporeans. Now, when you when you tell a Korean about Singapore, mostly the first reaction will be, "와, 좋은 나라야. 와, 너 부자국이야." Oh, so it's like, wow, it's really a good country. Oh, it's a rich country. Oh, 너무 깨끗하지. Oh, it's very clean, right? So like the impressions that the branding, the Singapore branding do exist here, like clean, rich, very developed nation, right? So that's all most Koreans know about Singapore. But if you ask them what Singaporeans look like, what we eat, nothing. They don't even know what Singaporeans look like, and they don't even know that Singapore is multicultural. So there's no one look in Singapore. Alright, so that's why when I tell people that I'm from Singapore, after they do that, wow, Singapore is a great nation, or it's awesome and all that stuff, they'll look at me and say, but you look Korean. You know, like to them, I look Asian, right? So it's like, if you look Asian, to them, when you look like this, you look Korean to them, you see. So, or otherwise, they will think I look Japanese or something like that. But basically because they don't know what Singaporeans look like in the first place, right? Oh, there's a little performance here, as you can see. The Hongdae during weekends is bustling with life. All kinds of performance and stuff, and especially at night. If you come during the week, in the evenings, there'll be a lot of K-pop dance groups and stuff like that happening around here. So this place is very K-pop, Hongdae, right? So now they don't understand that Singapore is multicultural. So when you look like this and you tell people you're Singaporean, or you're Malay, you tell people that you're Singaporean, they kind of get confused because they don't really know what Singaporeans look like in the first place, and most of them don't know. And in fact, I've not met a single Korean who knows this, that we are multicultural and that there's no one look for Singaporean, right? And so, but most of them would know that Singaporeans speak English. Most of them know. But there are a few who thinks that Singaporeans speak Chinese as first language. There are a few who still think Singaporeans are like something of a Chinese breakaway country or something like that, you know. And then, but generally, Koreans have very, very good impression about Singapore, even though they don't really understand Singapore well enough. They don't know our food, they don't know what we eat. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of lack of communication between cultural exchange between Singapore and Korea, because, well, if you look at it this way, there are 30,000 Koreans in Singapore right now, right? About 30,000 Koreans in Singapore right now, but only about a couple hundred here in Korea. There's only a couple hundred Singaporeans here in Korea. So there is a very lack of interaction, I would say, between the two countries, between the two so-called cultures, right? That's why they don't know a lot about Singapore, but at least they know the good things, the branding is there, right? So apart from that, they expect because they think Singapore is a highly developed nation, the most developed nation here in Asia. That's what they think. Most of them knows this, and in fact it's the truth, right? The thing is this: they expect Singaporeans to be the most refined in terms of mannerism, and they expect us to be developed, like so-called culturally. India idea, when you're developed culturally, all your movements, all your mannerisms are high manners, are very very refined mannerism. But that's not the truth. That's not how it is. I always teach my Korean friends and my girlfriend that Singapore may be the most developed Asian country here in Asia, but we have our own culture, and it's a Southeast Asian culture. That Southeast Asian culture is a culture which is very casual, and we have mannerisms that to them today they still think is barbaric, like eating with our hands, like you just pick things up with your hand, or even eating nasi lemak with your hand, right? To Koreans is unthinkable. In fact, I had Koreans like telling me that, wow, because there was once I demonstrated eating nasi lemak. There's nasi lemak here in Seoul, by the way. I demonstrated eating nasi lemak using hand, how it's done, right? And then the reaction I got is, and not just in one instance, I got this same reaction from a few different instances that, oh, isn't Singapore supposed to be very, very developed? Why are you guys using your hands to eat? Why are you guys like so barbaric, so-called? So that is like the misconception a lot of Koreans have. Like if you are a very developed nation, like Japan, you need to have high mannerism, refined mannerism. But they fail to understand that we are Southeast Asian, and Southeast Asia, we do have our own very unique culture, right? So that part is a little bit less understood by the Koreans that at least I have ever been in touch with, and that includes young and old. Okay, both young and old. They gave me almost the same reactions. Okay, so yeah. Apart from that, now Korea do not recognize Singapore as an English-speaking country, but it is well recognized amongst the Korean population that Singaporeans speak English as first language. There are some who are not sure, but they kind of know, so they will ask like, oh, so English is your first language, right? So they're not too sure because it sounds like unthinkable that Asians speak English as their first language, right? So yeah, that part, a lot of Koreans, they know, but they have to confirm it. Then that's when I always pop in that not only English, we do have our own unique saturi, which is dialect called Singlish, and that's what I try to teach people through my channel as well. Oh, check out all this teppei motorbike, all this delivery motorbike. Wow. So yep. So that's why I've been trying to teach them as well, that because when they come to Singapore, a lot of Koreans, they are surprised that, hey, why does your English sound different from the English that we know? Which, what they're talking about is American English, okay? So it's different. I try to tell them that we speak English, but we have our own saturi. It's just like, if you go to Busan people speak Korean, but they have their own saturi, their own dialect, you see. So they fail to understand that we have our own dialect, and it's called English, and that's what I've been trying to teach Koreans through my channel as well, right? So in a nutshell, there's how generally Koreans think about Singapore and Singaporeans. Hope you guys find this informative. I continue my shopping here in Hongdae. As you can see, it's a nice, bright, sunny day. Wow, look at the sky. Nice and blue, no clouds or whatsoever. People are dressed up, not as heavy anymore. No padding and all that stuff. Nothing too heavy. That's spring, man. Hope to see you guys here if you come here for holiday in spring. Annyeong.